Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, let's begin this morning drawing on the insights of our first resource person. He is the practice lead, managed security services and consulting MEA, intelligence security dimension data. This morning, he walks us through C-level engagement in building organizational cyber resilience in the COVID-19 era. Please make welcome Dr. Bright C. Mawudor.
Everyone, how are you all today? It's such an honor to be the first person to even start presenting this conference. What we are all facing right now, we are in the world of digital transformation, and some of the things that we don't expect to see or happen are actually happening to us. I'm going to take you through. How many of you have ever been hacked before? Anyone? Or your organization? No one? Your wife? Good. So that means all the others are victims today. So if I pick you randomly, please don't be shy to raise your hand, because we're actually going to hack you today when you're watching. Is that okay? Hello? Yeah, we have to, because that's the only way you get to see things. So we're looking at C-level engagement in building organizational resilience during COVID-19 era. So many hacking have happened. Recently, we saw how the U.S. Oil pipelines have been hacked in their ways. Usually the board or senior management usually does not like to get involved in things to do with cybersecurity and the likes until this happens. As security breaches happen, we're looking at reputational damage being on the line. We see the financial loss has been triggered, and sometimes a total lockdown of a network. As we can see, one of the biggest things that we're finding right now is ransomware. If you're aware of ransomware, it's where your machine gets locked and you have to pay in bitcoins for you to be able to get access to your computer. Now, cyber criminals are taking advantage of ways to be able to take over your systems because of that. Some of the things that we're seeing as breaches, or the statistics we are seeing, is that 74% of cyber professionals say they don't have the skill set in their organization. I don't think you can hire every single person with the right cybersecurity skill set in your organization at the same time. It's very costly. It's not easy to actually achieve. 27% of organizations said they have experienced what they call a CEO attack. You, all of you that are here, are the biggest targeted person in your organization. The reason is because you don't have the time to look through all the emails and look at the fine print of if you're going to be hacked or not. And I'll show you today. It's very easy to fake an email from you to him. Have you tried that later? It's very easy to do that. And those fine details or prints that you have to look out for, most senior management don't have the time to. And sometimes the tools you have in organizations are not good enough to be able to detect that. That is why the CEOs are easily targeted, followed by the finance directors. Because once you get a finance director who can actually approve certain details on the system, on the ERPs, that means it will be easy for them to actually channel where the money is going. People have lost millions of dollars because of the wrong bank accounts being paid into. It's happening. And all of us are potential targets that we are seeing right now. So no one ever thinks they'll be a victim of a cyber attack until it actually happens to them, right? And that's what I'm asking, if you've ever been hacked before, because today I'll take you through the mind of a cyber criminal. Let me show you exactly how we think, not how we think, how they think. I'm not a cyber criminal, I'm not a hacker. I'm a cybersecurity engineer and a thought leader, right? So some of the things that we have seen during COVID-19 is insider threat. I put that in bold red or to be the focus because people in your organizations know the systems much better than you do. What happens when you are here and the engineer who is supposed to be there at night as a support engineer, he's doing something that you can tell. They have access to systems, password. Are you monitoring every single time? How do we know that the external hackers who are coming out there and they're trying to find ways to get inside your network? We're looking at email security, anti-malware solutions, monitoring 24/7 that you have intelligence, not just noise on your network and systems, to know that every single thing that is happening, you have visibility, and you can actually go back 3 hours ago to find out who did what, where, and why. Do we have those systems? They exist, but have they been configured properly to be able to work? We're looking at actual and timely mitigations that if anything happens right now, you should be able to actually get back to your businesses within the shortest possible time, because how long do you think your business will run if you stay offline for 5 hours? You lose a lot of money because every single minute counts. Every single second counts. We're looking at business continuity during COVID-19. Most of you or most of us have written down on paper a business continuity strategy, but it has never been tested because we don't know when exactly it's going to come into place. How do you send your employees home to say that you can stay at home for the next 2-3 hours or for the next few days and work from home? Now, work from home has become the normal thing, right? It's the new normal. But all of that is part of business continuity strategy building. So, cybersecurity is no longer about defending your network. It's about the business dynamics are changing. The cyber breaches cannot be our new normal. We can't be waking up every day and being told that we have been hacked, we have been breached. We're having meetings to discuss that. And we have to start thinking of predictive analysis, which is proactiveness rather than reactive. Don't wait for the thing to happen before you actually get to react to it. So we're thinking about, our chief information security officers are thinking about applications, data, they're looking at users, they're looking at consumers who are also consuming the products that you have and the services, and of course, Internet of Things. I sat down last night when I arrived I live in Kenya, by the way. So I came back, I'm Ghanaian, but I live in Kenya. I came back yesterday and I was sitting at the hotel, browsing the internet and looking for certain things, Internet of Things. I landed in somebody's house. I can put off all his lights, even in the toilet when he's having his time. His shower, I can put the shower off. I can open his gate. I can open his water sprinkler. If you have time, I can show you that later today. You want to see it? We can go to his house. He can put off anything. And I was not even serious. I was basically just browsing the internet. You can see Tesla cars if you want to put them off. You can see people's homes. You can see cameras in Ghana of people's industries, and you can even try to move them around. Anyway, we'll not go there today because... So some of the gaps we've identified is vulnerabilities we have. How do you patch these vulnerabilities to fix them? How do you make sure that we have ways of we have insufficient skill set at times, and our applications that we develop don't go through what we call a secure development life cycle. Most of us, the times when you are CEOs in a room, you want the product to come out fast. You will tell your engineers, I want this done in 2 months. They will tell you to be done in 3 months or 4 months, but you're like, no. Your competitor is about to roll out that same application faster than you. So we pressurize them to actually release things faster, which is not supposed to be the way. And we have general cyber security or cyber resilience for awareness for the staff. You will think the easiest person to hack is the CEO. No, I have hacked the easiest company was the front desk lady. Cologne, shaved, I gave a flash drive to actually print something for me, and I got inside the company. This cable you see here is a charger. It looks normal to you, right? But if I was to give this cable to you on your laptop to charge for me, I can trigger anything on your laptop within a kilometer radius away from you. So 100 meters away. And I'll demonstrate that to you to see today. It's not your normal cable to charge, but it will charge. If I go to the front desk, I did this actually, went to a bank, I gave the front desk lady to charge my phone for me. I triggered a command on the laptop to download a malware from somewhere else, run on the laptop, give me access to her computer. And you see, if I was to hack you and I ask you to tell me what the person behind you is telling me, you will tell me every detail about him. That was how easy it is. It took me less than 10 minutes to activate that. And that's just because of physical hacking. So there are things that are out there that can be done. So the problem, somebody is a CFO who actually gave this code saying, the problem with CISO stands for Chief Information Security Officers, and the entire cybersecurity field for that matter is that you keep asking for more money and resources, but can't guarantee or articulate what I'm buying. They'll shut down that budget because they can't see tangibly what exactly they are paying for because you want to see action. How many of you are victims of that? Thank you. Thank you for being honest. It's really important. You want to see some attack and then you stop it and you say, oh, the firewall is working. But it doesn't work like that. We have to start getting involved in resilience. That's why there are two comparisons of things. Effectiveness of what you are doing as a company and how much is enough for efficiency. This is trying to say that when you're thinking about attacks, you want to increase the cost of an attack to an attacker. Hackers don't like to go for things that are difficult. They go for the easiest. Are we together? They go for whatever is easy. They go for whatever they can actually have their access to, say, Is this the easiest person to hack? So they identify the weakest link. So you have to increase the cost of attack. That means you have to get better systems, the better processes. You need to start moving from compliance to a risk-based approach. That is one of the key things that we have to take out from here. Today, let's not leave here talking about cybersecurity. We'll talk about cyber resilience. Are we together? Let's start thinking about cyber resilience, which I will explain a little bit later. Let's not think about cybersecurity anymore. And also, you want to decrease the mean time to remediation. Like I said, being offline for 5 hours is going to make sure that you lose a lot of money. So you need to make sure that you have a mean time that you can actually remediate whatever has been happening into a way that you can actually get back easily. Efficiency, your risk appetite, mitigation effectiveness, your risk exposure. What is the asset of greatest risk in your organization right now? Is it the CEO's laptop? Is it the database that you have? Or is it the machine that controls the turbines that you have for your industrial communication? It has to be identified that you prioritize, and it also helps to actually reduce your risks. So you have threats, you have assets in your organization, that from a laptop to the TV, to the smart devices you have, to the servers, the databases in the cloud, and you have the ways that they are vulnerable. All of that is what is having a risk. So you will be hacked someday. If you don't believe me, then raise your hand. You think you'll be hacked someday? You sure? So can we hack you today? You will be hacked someday. It's just a matter of when. That's why we need to start changing our mindset from a reactive approach to proactive approach. Here are some of the devices that we actually use for hacking these days. And trust me, they're all easy to get. I have every single of these devices in my bag. One on the top left can allow me to be able to plug in flash drives or even take off this Wi-Fi. If I want to spend more time here, anybody who's on their own hotspot, I'll disconnect you from that, take you to my hotspot. You will think it's actually working, it's the same internet, and I'll be able to see every traffic. The watch on the right will be able to basically actually de-authenticate you from the Wi-Fi by force. I don't need the password. This is the one that I'm talking about, the cable, the USB Ninja, and the USB Crazy Radio, which is there, actually intercept traffic between the mouse and the key and the laptop that you have. Everybody have a wireless mouse, right or wrong? A wireless mouse, yes, you do. Majority of the wireless mouse you have can be triggered in a way that as you're clicking, I have a small device in the bag that can actually intercept the traffic and make sure that I can type anything on your laptop as you, the administrator of that laptop. All of these are easy. So a hacker who is determined to hack you will do everything. But the conversation is not about that. It's basically how do we change our mindset? Assume that you have already been compromised. So we can't start thinking about, we need to know we can't protect the systems against every single attack. So assume you have been compromised, that you can think of how do you protect, detect, respondent, and along those attack phases. We're looking at a way to design our applications, our systems, our network, everything that we have to be able to recover quickly. Not the way that you're thinking to design everything not to fail. Because there are systems, there are applications, there are softwares, they will fail someday, right? So we're trying to shift our mindset from compliance to risk focus. We're trying to see how do you create a risk profile, determine the business impact to you, a financial reputation impact, assess the threats that you have, the vulnerabilities, determine what risk that you have and the threat, and treat this risk very importantly. So this is a very short formula. I just put it there because I'll be sharing the presentation to everybody, that you can understand exactly how do you know the risk appetite, the risk profile, and your compliance obligations, which is what you put in Ghana. So I'm going to take you through a very short live hacking demonstration. So hackers use anything they can find on the internet to be able to get into your network. So I think you can see that on the screen. So if you look at this is basically using a search engine to see people's houses. I can look for anything online using these simple tools that are publicly available. So this is a search engine called Shotgun, allows you to be able to see almost anything online. These are people's homes that you can log into. I see people having their parties, but anyway, it's not the focus. Google is very powerful to be able to give you almost anything and everything you want. If I type site GH and I said file type doc and I say confidential, this basically says I want to see every .gh website, any Microsoft Word document that has the word confidential in it. There we go. So all of these documents you're seeing here, they're not really confidential, but they are somewhere on a website that has the word confidential in that document. Same way that I want to see people that have text files on their pages, which is saying that they have a password and there's a text file there. These are passwords. I'm not going to go into them because some of them are showing people's databases and the likes in Ghana, right? And their passwords. Same way you want to find Ghanaians who have been compromised before with their Hotmail or Gmail somewhere, and you try to mimic them. So this actually tells you people who have been compromised before. Again, I will not go into it, but you can actually take people's passwords, and that same password, they have reused that so many times, right or wrong. You've used the same password so many times, at least on 5 portals, right? So what happens? How do you even know your password is out there? Because other people have already gotten they've compromised you before and actually gotten that data. But I would like to find out exactly who works at a particular place. So let me pick I was looking at the audience, the delegates, and say, I want to find out who says they work at Bank of Ghana. The reason is why I want to find a target. So a hacker will use details such as LinkedIn to find the right target of an organization to know, do I target the CEO, the CFO, or the details? Now, this is not hacking. This is basically using publicly available information to be able to get what they want. Now, getting those information, what a hacker would do is to use what they call a terminal. A terminal basically is to be able to make sure that we can find details about, say, Bank of Ghana is what? bog.gov.gh. I want to find email addresses. I want to find the email structure. How are the emails done? Fine. As that is happening, because I don't have time, I want anybody to give me their email password. Not email password, the email, your Gmail account. Anybody? That's a sample Gmail. Come on, please volunteer. I want to show you basically what happens, because if I want to pass a bottle of this sanitizer to the back, what are the ways that we can pass it around? I can either give it to you, pass it, or you can walk to the person. Same way emails work. Emails work in a way that you can actually manipulate how they actually move from one place to the other because of a protocol that they follow. So can I get an email address, any Gmail account, please? Thank you. Thank you very much. SAIIDMASRI@gmail.com. Thank you so much, Said. So I'm taking an email from Said, and due to time, I'll send it to myself. I'll send it to one of my domain accounts at africa@on.com. Then I want to force Said to say something, which is lunch for all. All the lunch is on me at Kempinski. So Said, you're buying lunch today. Thank you. So what I've basically done is to fool Google to think that the email is coming from Said. And let me go to my Gmail. Let us see if that has come. So as you can see, Said has sent an email by now. Even if his picture was there, they would have actually showed this picture. Said, if I was to reply to you saying, thank you very much, you will actually get that email. How many of your employees will actually get salary review and actually open it? Right? Salary review. So imagine, did you get it? I'm sure you did. It should be coming through in the next 5 seconds. Please confirm to us. So anybody who actually gets salary review, they're going to open it. Hackers will actually send you files that are zipped. Great, so he got an email. And it looks very legit. Thank you. That is what they'll do. Now, if I fake an email from him as a CEO to everybody saying, this is a salary review, please actually get that running, they'll actually open it. However, they try to do other things to be able to get details about you, and I'll show you very easily. So, they do what we call phishing attacks, which is what has been happening to a lot of people. Phishing attacks is basically mimicking a detail that will actually look very real and make sure people can see. So let's say CEO Summit, and they create this thing and use what we call link shorteners. Why they do this is because they want to make sure that they can actually force you to think it's real. Now, if you look at this, you all get Google Drive links shared to you, and it looks very real, and they tell you it contains, oh, there's a problem there, so I'm going to show you. But basically, that will be able to mimic the Google page to be able to send you something. Now, if I gather all this information, I'll send it to my friend there who has a laptop. Please come forward so that we can see. Where I've sent him an Excel sheet that is zipped with a password, because I don't want Gmail to scan that file to see there's any malicious content. So when he opens that Excel sheet, just show everybody. He thinks that he's actually browsing an Excel sheet, not knowing in the background I can take over the entire laptop. All I can do, I can activate the camera in the background. I can actually see everything he's doing. I can shut down this laptop if I want to. You can see, move the camera around, move the laptop. But to him, he's actually watching a simple Excel sheet. That's where malwares have been embedded. They're embedded in documents that you don't see every day, right? Just raise a laptop, because if I really want to be malicious, all that I want to do is say, oh, by the way, you can actually activate the mic in the background. It will have no effect, or shut down the laptop, and that's it. Laptop being shut down. You can open CD-ROM drive. You can do almost anything just because of a simple Excel sheet that we have. There's no much time to show you almost everything that I have to do today, so I'm going to show you the last but not the least. No, anyway, so those are basically some of the easiest ways for you to get compromised, and I know this time. So we at Dimension Data try to do almost anything and everything when it comes to IT, from intelligent infrastructure to business applications that you have to security, and we don't just give you products, because giving you products is not going to solve the problem. We have to analyze and investigate details, understand your services and the details that you have, that we can actually do a managed security for you to be able to customize something that will work for you actively. We have all the qualifications you can think about. No need to actually show you all of that. And last but not the least, as Mr. MC comes on stage, like I said, let's not think about cybersecurity, but cyber resilience. Cybersecurity is about 3 elements, number 2, 3, and 4. Being able to protect, dictate what is happening in networking systems and how do you respond. Cyber resilience, on the other hand, is being able to identify some of these risks that are happening to you. Like I said, we move from a compliance-based to risk-based approach, and how do you recover very, very quickly. So with that, there are some details that you have to conversations to ask as CEOs in our boardrooms. How do you demonstrate the investment that you have? You have to make cybersecurity part of the board strategy. When was the last cyber threat examined? These are some of the questions that you need to start asking, and boardroom questions. This presentation will be shared with everyone, so I don't have to read all the details because of time as well. So with that, I'll say thank you very much. My team is here also in the booth. Do come see them. Let's see how we can interact. Let's have a conversation and be able to see how you can be resilient. So I'll say thank you very much. And this is how my room looks like at work. This is how our cyber threat intelligence. We have been trying to do one major thing: reduce the amount of time we spend on treating incidents from 5 hours to 8 seconds. If you want to find out, please come to the booth and let's have a conversation. Thank you very much.
Ladies and gentlemen, a very dangerous man walking, Dr. Bright C. Mawudor. How about another round of applause?